Welcome to the Apple a Day podcast. My name is Michelle Apples. If you don't know me, I am the founder of the Christian Singles Hub, a space where Christian singles can be equipped with the resources they need to grow towards greatness, put their faith in action, and to date with purpose. Healthy relationships only come from healthy individuals. So join me every Wednesday as we interview some incredible guests and give you all the wisdom you need to steward your singleness better. We hope you enjoy the show, and don't forget to check out our website at thechristiansingleshub.com. Welcome back to another episode of An Apple a Day. My name is Michelle Apples, and I am your host. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hopefully, you listened to last week's podcast just about overcoming burnout before it even begins. And I just shared from the heart just where I was coming from in terms of just where we were at on this US tour. For those of you that may be listening for the first time, my husband and I are currently on a full USA tour, hitting different regions. This is something God spoke to us about last year, and it's been amazing, but also really challenging, really tiring. We both were just a little burnt out, if we're honest. And so really had to stop, communicate, reevaluate, and make sure that we were doing the best for us moving forward, because I talked about in the last podcast, like the Bible's clear that in order to love your neighbor, you have to love yourself. So making sure that we're good so that we're able to overflow onto others, and love each other, love others the way that God has spoken for us to. And so so here we are. We've taken a little break. We're currently in Colorado Springs, and we're here for 25 days, which I honestly, other than spending 6 weeks in New York in December, I don't know if we've been anywhere for 25 days since we got married, which is crazy. And so it feels good. We got here a couple days ago and just really felt a weight off of our shoulders to just be able to get done some things that have maybe has fallen to the wayside because we've been just going and so busy and going to so many different places and hosting so many events and retreats and all sorts of things. And so yeah, that's been really nice. And so today, after talking about overcoming burnout, I want to talk about forward moving motion today. And so, how do you walk forward after feeling, okay, I need to take a step back, I need to reevaluate? And this is something, if you've listened to previous podcasts, you'll know that for the last 2 years, I felt very limited in what I was able to do. I was going through an immigration process that was taking a lot of time and energy, and just momentum, if I'm honest. And so I'm still going through an immigration process. It's been almost 2 years now, and but this one's a lot more smoother. Obviously, allows me to do a lot more because it is a marriage green card rather than a business visa. And so, with that, it's been awesome because at the beginning of this year, I kind of got a green light of like, okay, I am no longer limited in a lot of areas. How do we move forward? What does that look like? And so, I want to talk to you a little bit about how do we move forward if we're feeling like we're stagnant in an area or feeling like we just kind of need that push. And sometimes it's about getting someone on the outside to come in and reevaluate and help you. And I think I am the most probably surprised that this year I've gotten people from the outside to come on and help me out in different areas, because I am not someone who asks for help. I am probably the one of the most independent people I've ever met. So really reevaluating at the beginning of the year, looking at, okay, here's 6 categories. Which ones do I really feel like I need to work on? From spiritual to emotional to physical to my career to all these different parts in my life. And so when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, well, my marriage is great. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time together living in a box. So that's not one area that I'm really like, oh, I need to hyper focus on this area. While I see that I no longer have limitations in my business, and I've seen that just how much momentum we're having there, okay, I want to focus on that area. I'm seeing the momentum that God is placing on it. I want to make sure we're hyper focusing on that area. Another key thing was my health. So if you've listened to past podcasts, you'll know that I've had a back injury for the past 2 years. I moved from Canada to the US, which the food quality isn't as good here. Yeah, just my lifestyle changed drastically when I moved from Canada to the US, and then adding an injury on top of that, where now I can't be physically active. I was like, okay, health and wellness is another area that I need to focus on this year. And so those were the two biggest areas. My spiritual life, I felt like that was great. My relationships, I felt like that was great. But really focusing on, okay, if I am feeling good physically, that's going to affect every other area of my life. And if and I see this momentum in the business, so let's focus on that. So how do we move forward with that? What does that look like? And you can take these tools and you can take these things and apply them to your own life. So whatever area that you feel like, maybe, okay, I need to work on that. Maybe it is physical health and you're thinking, you know what, I haven't felt very good in a long time. Let's actually like take a beat and actually figure out, how am I going to focus on that area of my life going into the rest of this year. We're almost done quarter 1, still got 3 quarters left to go of this year. So much time to work on those areas that you feel are dry. Um, for me, it was okay. So at the beginning of this year, so my husband and I, we got married in September. We were basically on the road from then onwards, basically. We had a lot, like my parents were in town, then we were with his parents, and then yeah, hosting retreats, and then we went to New York for 6 weeks. And so we were not conscious of what we were eating. We were not conscious of how much we were moving our bodies. We weren't conscious of these things because we just were kind of on autopilot of like, this is a fun adventure, let's go live it up. And then leaving New York, coming back to sort of reality. We went back to his parents' house for Christmas and just felt like, wow, we've just been indulging for so long, but I don't know if we've really focused on our health and our wellness. So going into this new year, knowing that we were going to be living in the RV full time, we're going to be traveling full time, we knew that we needed to implement healthy habits to help us physically, help our health, help our wellness, knowing that we're going to be moving fast. And so we need to make sure that we are good for the journey. Just as the Bible says that our bodies are living vessels used for God's glory. And so that's what I want to be. I want my body to be a living vessel used for his glory. That was the one area. And so we going into this year, we said, okay, what are some habits we need to lose, and what are some habits we need to replace those with? And we started eating very healthy, and we started cooking more at home, and we started eating out less, and we stopped drinking at the beginning of January. Not that we drank a ton before, but we enjoyed a glass of wine here and there, we enjoyed a cocktail here and there. And so we just knew that moving so fast like we are, that we need to be good for the journey that God has called us to. So we started implementing those habits. Of course, we started seeing habits slip as life got busy. So we had to go back to Nashville for 48 hours. That 48 hours, we didn't eat anything healthy. And so again, let's reevaluate. What are we doing? And, even though we were implementing these great habits, I still wasn't feeling good. And so I had to do something more. And so one of the things I decided to do was hire a functional health doctor. I'm still dealing with a little bit of pain in my body. It's not near as much as it was, but so I hired a functional health coach just to help me out, help me to get my body back to the place it should. I kept running into conversations I would have with different people about hormones being off, about your body not functioning well, about different things. And I was like, okay, I feel like all these messaging, God is trying to tell me something. And so, I had to do a research. So she's a Christian lady. It's amazing. She's awesome. She really prays into every call that we have, and truly just guides you along the way. And so, yeah, we've been able to see results from that, which is awesome. And I'm sure more results to come. But that was something that we had to do. I had to do that and my husband came along with me for the journey because I mean, he's a thin man. He's never had to worry about food. He's never had to worry about what's healthy, what's not healthy, but he's never actually learned those things either. So, this hiring a functional health coach and being able to walk through that educational portion of the program to really understand the why behind things instead of just, hey, I'm gonna go eat healthy. Because a lot of times we'll make these goals, but the goals without action are just goals. And so, how do we actually put action to that? So, one of the things I knew this year, I need to get my health on track. I know walking into marriage, like it's so easy to adapt to each other's worst habits. And so I was like, I don't want to adapt to bad habits. I want to actually thrive in our marriage. I want to thrive in what we're doing and what God is calling us to do. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hire this functional health medical doctor to be able to help us out, to be able to show us the way to go. And sometimes you have to go to someone who is more knowledgeable than you are to get past the point of where you are. So, I back in Canada, I did eat healthy. I ate really healthy, but I was also able to exercise. So maybe I didn't eat to the level of healthy that I should have because I was able to supplement that with exercise. Well, now I'm not. Okay, so what does that look like in my body? What does that look like go moving forward? And so that was one way. I'm like, okay, this is how we move forward. And so I needed to hire someone who knew more than I did. And this is the thing. Sometimes we think that we know everything. I thought I was very knowledgeable when it comes to my health, when it comes to lifestyle, when it comes to eating well, but it's easy to fall into bad habits. It's easy to think that you know it all, but really you don't. And to get knowledge and mentorship from someone who knows more than you. So that was one area of the life in my life. I said, okay, I want to move forward in this area. I don't want to stay where I am, and I definitely don't want to go backward. So how do I move forward in this area? Okay, this requires me to actually bring in outside help to help me on the way that I'm going. And so that was like one area that I was like, okay, I need to move forward in this. I cannot move backwards. The next area was my business. Again, I've been limited for the last 2 years in what I could do. So I did what I could, but there wasn't a lot. And so going into this year and seeing so much growth, so much momentum, so much, I mean, we looked at just numbers alone, and we're 234% more in business than we were a year ago, which is crazy. And so it's like, okay, you see God working, you see something happening. Okay, but I don't think I have the structures or the strategies or any of that in place to help me to be able to actually move forward in this area. I feel like we're going to hit a cap because I can only handle so much. I only have so much capacity. So how do we put those structures and those strategies in place to be able to not have this cap that I can only handle so much, but really be able to make sure we are equipped to go where God is taking us? And so I hired a business coach to help me out, to help me with those structures, with those strategies, with putting those frameworks in place to be able to bring that to the places that God wants it to and not be limited by my own capacity. So I can very much say, well, I'm only a couple years in and my business is doing amazing. I don't need a business coach. I know everything. No, I don't. So I needed to get someone from the outside in to say, "Hey, I need help. I need someone who knows more than I do, and I need to bring them on so that I can thrive in this area." And so, why am I telling you about all this? Because this applies to your life. Maybe it's a matter of you're single and you want to be married and you feel like your dating life is stagnant. This is a comment I get all the time when I go, "Oh, what's the best date you've been on?" People go, what's a date? I haven't had one of those in 5 years." Okay, so what are you doing about that? What does that look like in your life? How are you moving forward? What does that practically look like? Sometimes it is bringing someone in from the outside who knows more than you do. This is why I do what I do. I do dating coaching and matchmaking and profile revamping, and we do retreats and we do virtual speed dating events and we do in-person events and so many other things, because we want people to say, hey, this is an area that I feel stagnant. This is a desire I have. This is an area I'm feeling stagnant. How do I now bridge that gap of that desire, but also not doing anything about it to make sure that I'm heading forward in this forward moving motion? And so that can apply to your dating life. Absolutely. That could apply to your career. Maybe you've been at the same job for 10 years and you're just not moving forward. Okay, what sort of things do you have to change? What does that look like? Do you have to bring on someone from the outside looking in to be able to cover those blind spots that you may not see? I think that's so important, is that we all have blind spots in every area of our life. But if we never have someone from the outside looking in to say, oh, actually, you could do this better. Actually, you could do that better. And it's finding the right people who will actually say those things, because I've come up with a lot of people that will tell me I'm just doing a great job. I'm like, I don't want to be told I'm doing a great job. I want to always be improving and doing better, because the Lord deserves it. I work as if I'm working unto the Lord, not if I'm working unto man. So I want to be always doing better for his glory. And so, how do I do that? What does that practically look like? And so, sometimes we need to bring in outside people to be able to cover our blind spots, to be able to actually move forward in life. I remember sitting down at the beginning of the year with my husband and just writing out goals and looking at different areas of our life. Okay, what does this look like? Personally, we're already growing so much. We don't really need to look at like personal growth. What does that look like? Because let's be real, living in an RV with your husband, the first year of marriage, going around the whole country, you're learning a lot, you're growing a lot. I don't need to like start going to all these conferences that are going to help me in my personal growth, or I start reading all these personal growth books. Like, I don't need that right now in this season, because I'm growing, I'm learning every single day. What does my emotional maturity look like? Do I need to go to therapy? What does that look like? Do I need to hire on a therapist? I don't think therapy's bad. I think finding the right therapist to be able to recognize patterns that you're doing that is actually unhealthy and keeping you captive is a great thing. And so maybe it's looking at, okay, you know what? Maybe my past relationships haven't worked out because I'm not the most emotionally mature, or I'm not the most self-aware. Maybe I need to hire someone from the outside looking in to find those blind spots that I'm obviously not seeing, and say, hey, let me help you with that. Let me help you grow in this area. um Again, physically, what does that look like in your physical health? Are you where you want to be physically? I think by being able to get this educational content that we're getting from this functional health doctor is so brilliant, because we're learning and we're growing in that area of our life where we're not only just being told, oh, do this and this and this, but here is the why behind the reason that you're doing A, B, and C, and why we're switching these habits up. And so, what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of your relationships? And that's not just romantic relationships, but friendships. Is there an area that you need to improve on that? Maybe you need to ask for feedback from your friendships or your relationships. Hey, where I doing really great, and where can I improve? We all have blind spots and we all have room for improvement. So I just wanted to come on here and just encourage you guys today with that, because in my own life, even though I'm saying, hey, last week I felt like I was coming in a burnout, I had to reevaluate. But I see that even taking that time to reevaluate and change things before I ever became burnt out was my indication that, wow, I've grown a lot. Because a lot of times in the past, I'd work a lot and work a lot and work a lot, and I'd never stop until I got burnt out. So instead of getting burnt out, I said, before I'm ever getting burnt out, I'm going to reevaluate this situation. And now I'm seeing that, okay, I had a business meeting with my business coach today and was able to implement things in a 1 hour session that I may have never implemented on my own because I am not looking at my blind spots. He is, meeting with my health coach and her just walking me through different things and what that looks like, and being able to really come together with my husband and say, hey, we're doing this because we want the longevity of our relationship, of our health, of our wellness, of our fitness levels, of our career, because we know if we're healthy, like when your health is not good, it affects every other area of your life. That may be spiritually in your life. Okay, maybe you're not growing spiritually and you need to have someone keep you accountable. Maybe you need to find someone to do Bible studies with, or host a small group, or get around like-minded individuals, because those are the people that are actually going to help you grow in your spiritual walk and keep you accountable. I mean, one thing I love about my husband is he always keeps me accountable in my spiritual life. Hey, let's pray. Hey, let's take communion. Hey, you're not feeling great? Let me pray over you right now. Hey, let's look for churches in the area. Let's see what's going on. And it's beautiful that you have someone to spur you on. And so I hope this is encouraging for you, that there is hope for that forward moving motion. And so take inventory of the different areas of your life. Where do you feel stagnant? Where do you feel dry right now? And what is it going to take for you to move forward? Maybe that is hiring a dating coach. Maybe that's hiring a matchmaker. Maybe that's getting in small groups. Maybe that's getting a health coach. Maybe that's getting a business coach. Wherever you are today, take a look at those areas that you feel really dry in and start adding things to them. Like, for example, I had someone give feedback on our virtual speed dating event a couple nights ago, and she said, this was my sixth virtual speed dating event, yet this is the first one I ever showed up to, because I've always been too afraid, too nervous, but I just relied on the Lord. I took it to prayer and I stepped out in faith for it. And that was so beautiful to me, that, like, okay, how do I move forward? This is an area I desire to be married. I desire for a spouse. Okay, what am I practically doing to put that in motion? What am I practically doing to go forward in that area of my life? There's a lot of people that just complain time and time again. I'm still single. Oh, I've been waiting forever. But they haven't been on a date in 5 years. They haven't even tried to go on a date in 5 years. It's a different thing if you just can't get a date, or, you're coming up stumped. It's another thing if you've never put yourself out there and then just expect them to show up on your front door. It doesn't work that way. We need to do the work. And I did a couple episodes ago. I talked about we have a part to play. And this is very similar, as we have a part to play in hiring people that we need to hire. If you wanted to get in shape, you would go buy a gym membership. Why don't you invest in all these other areas? If you're emotionally mature, go get a therapist. Go see a therapist. If you need help in your dating life, go hire someone who knows what they're talking about. And yeah, just start walking forward in a forward moving motion. I think that's so important. I've seen the benefits of that in my own life. You know, uh, Actually, it reminds me of a verse. I'm trying to think of what verse is it? It's Oh, I lost it. I had it, but I lost it. So bear with me. But yeah, I hope that you are encouraged today, and that you truly take some time today just to take inventory of the different categories, different things in your life, different spaces in your life, and start to put an action item to it to start seeing some forward moving motion in your life. So thank you for tuning in today. We'll be back next week for another episode of An Apple a Day. In the meantime, we have so much coming up We have summer camp happening June 14th to 17th. We already are like 60% full, which is crazy because it's only March. So book your spot, don't delay. We also are doing a Love is Blind virtual speed dating event. It's going to be similar to our regular virtual speed dating events, except you can't see each other. It's all going to be matched on personality, connection, and the things that truly do matter. We are doing some other retreats. We have Florida next year. We have Michigan the fall. We have Friendsgiving coming out soon. And we have some in-person events coming up. We have Colorado. We have Phoenix. We got California. So make sure you check out our website at thechristiansingleshub.com to find out about all of the things that are coming up in an area near you. We have a lot of online stuff and in-person events. So even if we're not in an area near you, you can still get involved in the hub. So we hope to see you next week and enjoy your week. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of An Apple a Day. If you liked today's episode, why don't you go like it, share it, subscribe, maybe even send it to a friend, and don't forget to review us. It helps so much. We look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place on An Apple a Day podcast.